Three things you need in hand before creating an Express Entry profile. Let's see one by one. So the first thing you need is your valid passport because you will have to use the passport number as well as its creation and expiry date in your pre-ID forms. The second thing you need is your IELTS report that is valid, that is not expired, because you will have to input your TRF number, dates, and the score. Now, the last thing is your EC report. You will have to make sure that it is not expired because ECA does have expiry date as well. You will be needing the ECA number and all the other things such as dates and all that. How to get your degrees evaluated is a whole different topic, and I can make a different video on demand. So these are three things that you need before creating your Express Entry profile, and without any of these you cannot create a profile. Now let's see those pre-ID forms one by one. So in total we do have 6 forms, but in each of these forms we have multiple sections. Let's see each form in detail. Inside personal details form we have 7 sections where they ask for the information. Now we have to put all our data in those 7 sections regarding personal details. The first one is the names, where the system asks for your name. You have to put exact same name that is either on your passport or on your national identity document. So the second section is about personal description, where you are asked about your gender, your date of birth, your country of birth, and your city, town of birth. Now the second one is the marital status, where you are asked to put your marital status if you are married, single. There is this drop down arrow that you have to tap, and there is a whole list. You can choose any option from that list accordingly. Remember, initially we talked about 3 things that we need before creating an Express Entry profile. Now it's time to use one of them. Here in the ID document summary section, you are asked to put your passport or national identity document. You just need to select the document type. You just need to put your document number, country of issue date that is on the passport, expiry date that is on the passport. The next section is immigration history and citizenship section, where you are asked whether you have applied to IRCC Citizenship Canada before. So if you have applied before, you have to select yes, otherwise no. Then you have to put your country or countries of citizenship. Let's say if you have a citizenship of more than 2 countries, you can put both the countries. After that, you have to put your country of residence, which can only be one, of course. So the next section is about family, where you are asked questions about your family. How many family members do you have? It simply means that how many members will be accompanying you. Let's say if you are going alone, you just need to put one. Secondly, you are asked how much money in Canadian dollars will you bring to Canada. There is a whole chart according to the family composition. I will put the link in the description box as well. You can check the values from there. Next, you are asked about your relatives in Canada. Do you have a relative who is a citizen or PR holder? If you have one, you can select yes, otherwise no. Now the contact details form has 2 subsections. First one is the language of correspondence. You have to choose your language of correspondence. Secondly, you will have to give your email address. Make sure it is valid. Make sure you have access to this email address because you will be sent updates or anything regarding your profile on this email address. Third form is study and languages, and the first section is education history, where you will be asked multiple questions regarding your educational history. Guys, you will have to put only those education history against which you are claiming points, against which you have EC report. You don't have to put any ongoing education because you don't have EC report of that. We can add any ongoing education in the person history section that we have in post IDA forms. Fields are pretty simple and self-explanatory. You are asked, have you finished your high school, your field of study since what year, if it is a current study or not, whether it is full-time or part-time, standing at the end of the study, country of study, city, town, name. You can add more than one education history. That's it. Second section of study and languages is about your official language assessment, where you will have to put your IELTS data. You will be asked to put your date of language test and date of test results. Guys, these 2 dates are different and we have both of these dates on our IELTS report. Now you will have to put your score, your speaking, reading, listening and writing score, and then your TRF number that is mentioned at the very bottom of your IELTS report. Second, you are asked, have you taken an approved language test, that is TEF, to assess your French skill? If yes, you can put the data. You will get extra score for that. The next electronic form is about application details, where you are asked questions about provinces and territories of the interest. The question is which province or territory would you consider living in? I would suggest to check all provinces and territories. So when you select all provinces and territories, you have extra 2 options from British Columbia and Ontario, and it's better to select yes in both of them. By selecting yes, you are authorizing both the provinces to collect your data, so whenever the PNP draws happen and if your score and knock match, they send you an EOI, that is expression of interest. That is a complete different topic. I will make a separate video on that. So the next questions they ask about nomination and selection. Have you received a nomination certificate from a province or territory? So if you do have one, select yes, otherwise no. So after submitting this profile, let's say you get selected for any PNB program and that you get 600 CRS score, you can update this nomination selection information in the post ITA forms as well. So the next electronic form is a representative form, and we have only one section in this form, that is, do you want to allow IRCC to give your information to an appointed person? It simply means that if your agent is making your profile, which you can now do that on your own after watching this video, you will have to select yes, otherwise no. So by selecting yes, you're authorizing IRCC to give your information to that appointed person. That appointed person can be a consultant, lawyer, friend or family member. So first thing first, you have to choose your primary occupation, which is now a 5-digit NOC code after the recent implementation of 2021 NOC system. Then you have to specify the date you first became qualified in this occupation. For example, for most of the people, this is the date when they are done with the university, when they start working. So you have to specify that month and year. Now the last electronic form is about work history, where you have to put your work history. Guys, you have to put only those work history against which you are claiming your CRS point. If you have worked in a company and you are not claiming points for that company, you can put this information in the personal history section in the post ITA form. Work history section is very simple. You are asked, do you have any work history since what year to what year, hours per week. If this is your current job, there is this checkbox, your NOC code, job title, employer, company name, country and city down. Just make sure that you have the correct NOC, because you will have to upload reference letter of each company you are claiming points for in the post ITA. The third question is about Canadian certificate of qualification. Do you have a certificate of qualification from a Canadian province? If you have one, you can select yes, otherwise no. The next question is intended work in Canada. Do you have a job offer in Canada? The offer must be full time for at least 1 year, meet different requirements. So if you have one, you can select yes, otherwise no. If you have a valid job offer from a Canadian employer, you can earn between 50 and 200 CRS points. In research section, you are asked multiple questions: whether you have done some research in your primary occupation, whether you have checked that your education and experience is accepted in Canada or not, with whom did you check, for example, employers, work-related or professional organization, school, friend, relative, host or sponsor. So just answer that accordingly if you have done some research. Secondly, some jobs in Canada require you to have a license before you can begin work for public safety reasons. Such jobs are called regulated occupation. So if you know that your primary occupation is regulated, select yes. If it is not regulated, select no. There is this third option, I do not know, that you can select if you don't know. So after filing all the 6 electronic forms, you will have to submit the data by typing your first and last name and agreeing their terms and policies. If you do that, you have this interface where you can see your application number, application name, date submitted and the status. Once you submit your profile, you can edit your information, but again you will have to sign your profile and transmit the data. That's it. I hope you will be benefited from this video and that you will be able to create your own Express-Entry profile. However, if you do have questions or queries, you can post in comments. I will reply. Thanks for watching the video. Do subscribe the channel, hit the like button. Thanks.